So on to the 3 o'clocks then.
Mm-hmm.
One of which being the game that we were at. So we sort of had the updates as we were going and have seen highlights, match of the day and all that business.
They surprised us a lot, didn't they, when we was getting these updates?
Yeah.
But,
well, we were not as much as surprised as we were when we were watching our game.
Yeah.
We'll get to that. But Arsenal Fulham 2-2 at the Emirates.
Yeah. It's a good result for Fulham, that.
It is. I didn't have any faith in Fulham getting anything from that.
No,
didn't even think they'd score. With losing Mitrovic as well, I'm wondering where the goal's coming from. And then a gift to get them off the ground in that game.
It was laughable. Like, I don't rate Ramsdale anyway, but it was just laughable. The whole thing, like, Saka misplaced his pass, didn't he?
Yeah.
Set Pereira through on goal. Pereira mishits a chip. It's definitely a chip. You can't say anything else. He mishits it, and it like trickles into the net, and Ramsdale's like fumbling all over the place, isn't he? So yeah, I just don't rate him. Why do you think they've gone and got David Raya?
Well, I think obviously there's a degree of the blame's there on him, but I think also you see how flat-footed he gets caught. I think when we watched it back, and it does look like Andreas Pereira's going to lob or chip the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I think Ramsdale think he's trying to chip him. He starts scrambling back to his goal line and it goes in at his near post.
Yeah.
So I think he's tried to read the place. A calamity of errors all across the board, and it touches on what we were speaking about last week, where we were saying that we've seen a lot of sloppy goals conceded from misplaced passes, and that is another example of that. Where is it just people shaking off the rust? I know we're 3 games in.
I just wonder if it's this new, because everyone's trying to play the same way now, and I just wonder if
play
it's
out and keep the ball on.
I just wonder if it's like that, because you didn't really see many like that last season, but I feel like every team now are trying to adopt Pep's way, and sometimes it's not worth it.
But
Arsenal fans are furious, by the way.
What about
Arteta, because he's experimenting while the Premier League started. You're supposed to experiment in pre-season. And they're furious. Like, I've watched quite a few things, and they're not happy with Arteta.
I don't know if any Arsenal fan can comment and explain it to me, or if you're as in the dark as I am, but I can't understand why Gabriel isn't playing at the moment.
Yeah, I think they've fallen out.
Because I think they look... I know a lot of people have Saliba down as the main man, but Saliba and Gabriel look like that partnership to use for them going forward. And has he come off the bench at all or anything? I think he might have featured.
Last game, maybe?
He's not started, has he, yet, in the opening 3 games?
Can't remember, to be honest. It might have been the first game he started.
Because I seem to recall taking him out of my team last minute because there was a rumour that he wasn't going to play. So I don't think he's actually started at any of the Premier League games.
There was strong rumours going to Saudi, but then Arteta, I saw something that he's come out and said, he's not going anywhere, he's in our plans. Like, why are you leaving him out then?
I think they look like they're missing him. It's maybe, I think with the pass back from Saka, not something that you usually see from him. It's every player makes mistakes.
Obviously,
but there's no one covering, and then the keeper's had a bit of a stinker. So that puts them up against it right from the start and gives Fulham a bit of confidence, which...
I think they've got a bit of a worry, kind of like how United started yesterday. Arsenal have got a worry. Apparently, they've conceded early quite a lot, like end of last season, starting this season as well. They've conceded very early,
right?
So I think that's
didn't really realise that.
Big trouble for them, I think.
It's like they're a bit rusty in the game. Like, I mean, God, we'll get into it with United.
I think we was
similar.
A whole new side of rustiness, weren't we?
Oh, that was terrible.
But Arsenal have a big problem there. As I say, fans are furious with Arteta at the minute. He's trying to... Arsenal fans are thinking, basically, he's trying to be too much like Pep. So he's trying to get this, like, centre-back into centre-mid, all this stuff. So he's playing Partey right-back, so they don't agree with it.
Yeah.
They came second last season, playing Partey as a defensive mid. Why they have to change it, I do not know.
Yeah, I think it is one of those where if it's not broken, why fix it? Like they're more than capable of beating a team like Fulham. No disrespect to Fulham, but what we saw from Arsenal last year, they're clearly the better side. They're playing a fixture at home.
Yeah.
I can understand that the manager wants to try and switch things up maybe, but I just don't think there's any real need. And certainly at this stage in the season, and maybe people will argue, well, at what stage in the season do you do that? But I just think you don't want to take any risks. You look at the fine margins that there are involved in the Premier League winners over the last number of years. To be dropping points in a game like that this early in the season against a team that haven't really started that well anyway, that you should be nailed on to winning.
Yeah.
It'll be disappointing. I know they managed not to lose the game, but I think based on the other factors we'll talk about now with the Arsenal game, the fact that they then were in a winning position and conceded an equaliser to a 10-man side at home is really poor. Like you'd be coming away from that game not happy at all if you're an Arsenal fan.
Oh yeah, you'd be furious. The actual goal that brilliant ball by Vieira to Nketiah, that goal, there was a player down for Fulham. Like I think it was Bassi. He played down for like 30 odd seconds.
Oh, is this maybe part of the new rules influence? A little bit?
Silva got another. I think he's got 3 yellow cards in 3 games.
Who has?
Silva. Do you know the manager?
Oh, the manager, Marco Silva.
He's got 3. Yeah, so he's on 4 for 4.
He's very animated, isn't he?
Yeah, so he wasn't happy about that, but I think that's a bit of the new rules into play.
Yeah, well, I don't mind. It is what it is. If they go back and they deem that there's actually something wrong with it, I'm sure when the goal's gone in, that the VAR can look at it.
I think it's a bit unfortunate to say if like it's an off the ball challenge, you're injured and you're down.
Yeah, you're not going to be happy about it.
No, but I mean, it's like what we said last week. Where do you draw the line at these things? So.
Trying to let it flow. I think something I'd like to touch on is obviously no Gabriel Jesus at the moment. He's been training. I think he might have come on actually.
Really?
I wasn't
sure.
I don't know. I felt like I saw someone say on Twitter at the time that he might have come on, or whether he's just named on the bench. I might be completely off the mark there, and he wasn't. But I wouldn't be rushing him back for me. I think in my personal opinion, I like Eddie Nketiah. I think he's bright, he's quick, he's youthful, and I would be playing him through the middle until he gives me a reason not to.
Yeah, because they took him out last season. Do you know when he was performing, scoring every game?
Yep.
Scored against United towards the end as well. And then as soon as Jesus got fit again, they started swapping him out, and it just wasn't right. And that was towards the end as well. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I like Nketiah. I think they should keep him in until he gives them a reason not to, like you say.
From my opinion on Gabriel Jesus, I think he's a brilliant player, but I still don't think he is a focal point and a striker for a team. I think Pep saw that's why he played him all over the place. He obviously got his chance on occasion through the middle.
Yeah.
But he played him out wide. I think Arsenal would be better for playing him out wide, but their wide players are better than him. So I think he's left City to be the man for another team.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's better than the other options that they've got. I think, again, he is an option. I think he's a good player.
I think he's a fantastic player, yeah.
But I would rather have Martinelli or Trossard on the left. I'd rather have Saka on the right, and I'd rather play Nketiah through the middle. And I think it's a good problem to have because he's a great option. But in my personal opinion, I wouldn't even be starting him in a lot of the games.
As a manager, you'd love that option where your second striker comes on and he's bagging.
But Jesus won't be happy with that.
No.
So I can see him being integrated back in, really. Yeah. Unless he finds a way to keep them both happy.
Yeah.
But
it's what Newcastle are doing at the minute. They're playing both, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like, giving them both game time. But it comes a line, like you say, when they're unhappy about it and not getting enough game time.
We'll talk about the João Palhinha goal.
Yeah.
Player that we're still amazed
highly,
is at Fulham.
Yeah.
Great connection on the strike. Difficult technique when he's coming in from a corner like that.
So many players would just scuff that.
Through bodies as well.
Yeah.
I think the keeper's unsighted. I mean, I don't think you can really blame Ramsdale for that one. But what an absolute massive goal to get for Fulham away from home with 10 men to come away with anything.
Late goal, right?
Yeah, I think so, because I say they were leading 2-1 Arsenal. Absolutely massive. I think if you're a Fulham fan, you'd be absolutely delighted at that. As soon as you went down to 10 men, you were thinking, right, we've thrown this away here. We started really well.
Yeah.
And then to claw back and get something out of it is really brilliant from them.
I think they came out after the game, might have been Marco Silva. He said that's why we fought so hard to keep him. Apparently there was a 45 mil bid from West Ham.
Right. Well, I'd say he's worth more than that anyway, but maybe that's just because a big club would get
I would have said
rinsed.
55, 60.
He's like 27, I think.
Yeah.
Which you don't realise. I think he's older than you realise.
Yeah, so I think like 28, 29 is your prime years, isn't it? So he's close to his prime, so you need to get him. If a big club are going for him, it's not for the future, is it? It's for now.
I will say, I know we said it last year, I can't see a world where he's at Fulham next year. I could see even someone coming in with a silly bid for him in January
Yeah.
if a team needs a player from that position.
What team do you reckon could do with him right now?
Well, I've said it since the window opened. I thought Liverpool needed him
It would have been a good shout.
I think they could probably get him for a reasonable price. I think now they couldn't because they've shown, when they went in all guns blazing for Caicedo and they sort of showed they've got the money. Any club with any sense now isn't going to take a low bid from Liverpool.
They know they can say, right, Liverpool, you want him 80 mil.
Yeah. They could have come in and said, I don't know, 50, 60 million. And you'd say from what we've seen from him so far, I know that sounds ridiculous because it was one season, but you'd say he looks worth that.
Yeah.
I think he solves that problem for them. It gives them a really strong midfield then.
Even now, though, like obviously, I think now that they've got that Endo, I haven't seen much of this Endo, but he's on the old side and he's like 30.
Oh, is he?
So, but a Liverpool fan told me they wanted an older one and a new one, like a new one.
Yeah, you need a bit
a
of
young
experience in there too, don't you? They lost a lot of experience.
Yeah, so with them having that Endo now, I feel like they're not going to go for someone like Paulinho because they want the young one now.
He's not too much in it is the 3 years younger.
Yeah.
They replace Hendo with Endo.
Yeah. It's Henderson from Wish.
Yeah, when he's stinking, everyone will be going, look, it's Henderson. I can see it coming already.
Henderson was actually quite good.
Yeah, he's
the end,
disrespected. He was a great captain. I hate him, Scouser and that, but...
Shall we move on to the next game?
Yeah,